What's up everyone? Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you guys about hair goals because there are 5 things you need to be doing in order to achieve yours. These are the only things that actually worked for me and helped me get past first shoulder length, then past bra strap length to waist length and almost to tailbone length. Now I've got a few inches to go, but I mean, it's definitely there and I'm definitely proud of all of the success that I've had growing out my hair. So I wanted to pass these along to help you guys because I know how frustrating it can be. Okay, first of all, number 1, you better be working with the right hairstylist, okay? I'm gonna tell you, there are a lot of scissor happy, chopping off all your damn growth type stylists out there, and nothing irks my nerves more than that. I had to find the right stylist who, number 1, knew how to listen when I tell them to do a micro dusting, to take a little bit off, a ½ inch, a ¼ of an inch, okay? And I know that there are a lot of amazing stylists out there, but I'm gonna tell you, there are a lot of people who I went in and I'm like, hey, can I get a trim? And they end up taking 4 inches off. That is not a trim. And I did not need that much taken off. I'm gonna tell you, there's some real hair trauma stories deep down, especially for those of you who know I'm a natural curly girl. And a lot of people are gonna say, oh, well, you know, you're mixed. Okay, well, it was easy for you. No. Oh, no. Okay, back in high school, I was rocking the fro. Back in elementary school, because I've never processed my hair, it's always been curly. It's been a nice little curly fro a lot of my life. Okay, and a lot of people weren't rocking that style back then. Back then, I mean, a lot of people called me a chia pet. People called me all sorts of names, said I had nappy hair. But I'm just being honest about my hair journey, because a lot of people try to discredit people who have longer hair and not acknowledging, like, oh, well, I went through hell to get here. I don't care if the stylist sees damage, like, well, you have a split end up to here. I'm gonna tell you right now, honey, there'll be split ends all throughout my head. I'm sure I have a split end right here because I manipulated a lot and gelled down my baby hairs and all of that. I'm sure some of that hair is frayed, so does that mean we should chop it to an inch of my scalp? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've seen stylists do all sorts of things, and I was never happy when I would just let somebody have free reign over my head. I've worked in professional settings where I've had people use extreme amounts of heat on my hair, and it's like, oh, well, just trust them because they're professional. Let me tell you something right now. It doesn't matter. Do not trust them. You need to guard your hair. If you care about growing it out, you have to stop the professional and tell them, like, that's too hot for me. Or, did you put in enough heat protectant? And yeah, they might get annoyed with you, but at the end of the day, it's your hair. It's what you're committed to, right? That's why you're here. That's why you're watching this video. So let me give you the words of encouragement to stand up for yourself. There's so many times when I was younger and I would put my faith into the hands of somebody who didn't really know what the hell they were doing. They had a license, sure, so I guess by the state of the law, it says, yeah, oh yeah, they know what they're doing, but no, they're ruining my hair. I've had people use Marcel's in my hair, and yeah, give me that natural sheen, all that sheen, oh my God, it's amazing. My curls aren't coming back to life. You know what I mean? Oh, so we have to chop off 3 inches, right? I didn't always do that though, but I'm gonna tell you, and there's times where I've had little holes in my hair in the back where, here, I'll just show you guys a picture real quick, and this is from damage from an actual professional who was using way too much heat in my hair and caused extreme amounts of breakage, okay? Once again, from a professional, and that can completely sabotage your hair goals. So once again, that's why I say, number 1, it's like you better find a stylist who can listen. And I'm gonna tell you, oftentimes when you have these problems where if you have a hole in your hair here, the stylist will want to chop here. They want to chop 5 inches above. I take this very seriously because it's been a long journey for me, longer than it needed to be, because people weren't listening to me. And they think, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Or, oh, your hair grows back fast, because they look at me and they think, oh, well, your mom's white, your hair. You don't know anything about me. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know any of that. And I'm sorry, I know this might be a little bit loaded, but I'm going to tell you that's how serious it is. And if you're watching this video, you care a lot about your hair. And so I just want to pass that along, that your feelings of protectiveness towards your hair should be respected. And I've had people come in and be rough with my hair. I've had people take, and you guys know my hair is curly, okay? And I'm going to tell you, they'll take the smallest rat tail type comb and just combing it from up here and all of this. And so now you're getting all this kind of breakage. Oh, well, you're tender-headed. And, you know, back in the day, it wasn't cool to be tender-headed. And I'm not tender-headed, but I'm going to tell you, if you're too rough with my hair, I'm going to tell you to stop. I know they want to hurry up and get through it, like, I'm just being honest. If you care about your hair, you can't let somebody treat your hair like that. And it's hard because you have to build up this confidence to say something. You know, you want to use, like, you're raised all your life, like, I don't want to be tender-headed. This is how it's supposed to be. Meanwhile, all of your ends are falling off. You've got 2 inches of breakage, and then you're going to come back in 4 months and wonder why your hair is still the same length. I'm sorry, I'm getting upset. Hold on. I need to take a deep breath. Okay, guys, there's a lot of trauma, okay, when it comes to my hair. I see a lot of crazy chops on Instagram, and I'm thinking, thinking, oh my God, this is why people for the next 5 years, they're stuck right here at shoulder length and they're wonder why and their hair isn't growing. And it's because you keep cutting too much off. And if you go onto Reddit, there's this great forum. It's called Long Hair Care. And those women on there whose hair, they're like, yeah, you can't be getting 4 trims of 2 inches each time. Your hair is never gonna grow. You might get negative growth, or if you're getting a wig. And I'm gonna tell you, I've seen stylists, okay, this is all personal here, and they wanna glue it on the hair. I'm like, listen, babe, like, no, I got a big, nice forehead. You got a lot to work with right here, okay? You can put it right here. Don't play with me. Number 2, in between cuts, I will take a very sharp pair of shears. I got these on Amazon. They're over $100 slightly, by Olivia Gardens, that my stylist recommended to me, that are really sharp. And I will go through only in my car, because the lighting for some reason in my car when the sun's out is like perfect to see every frayed end, and I will spend hours. I'm sorry, maybe I'm crazy, but I will. And that's how dedicated I've been. And so when I go get my haircut, it's like, oh wow, it looks really healthy. It's like, yeah, because I've gone through and really looked for the damage, and it also saves me with the length, right? Because if you just let the damage fester, and by the time you go around for that next trim or something, you're like, oh, okay, this is kind of bad here. My hair's gotten pretty dry, et cetera, et cetera. And so this right here, I'm like, maybe I'll just go get a dusting from my professional, stylist now, because I went through and I had searched and destroyed all of those split ends, and I'll take 2 hours here, 2 hours there. I like doing it. It's kind of therapeutic to me, but that's something that has been a game changer in being able to retain a lot of my length, not just some Fisker scissors that are meant for arts and crafts, not kitchen scissors that are meant for cutting meat and pizza, like some real scissors, right? This is an investment. You're watching this because you want your hair to grow, right? And so this is what helps, that in between cut maintenance that really has been a game changer in getting my hair solidly to waist length without any questions. Number 3, your health is really important. As I mentioned to you before, my hair is very fine. I think a part of that is because I have hyperthyroidism, which is caused by Graves' disease. It's an autoimmune condition. I'm fine, I'm good. But over the years that I've been dealing with it, I mean, one of the symptoms of it can be finer hair, right? So you have to be careful. It can create dryness in your hair as well, which makes it hard because dryness equals breakage, et cetera, et cetera. And then you live in a dry climate and things like that. And so I've had to take extra care of my hair. And I know that sometimes if people have a biotin deficiency, that's the key word there, that taking biotin, you might see some help with your hair. All right. I've seen some studies that talk about collagen as well. I haven't been consistently taking biotin, but I do have 10,000 micrograms of biotin. I think I'm gonna start consistently taking it again just because. And I like these chewable collagen vitamins. This is not an ad. I bought it from Vital Proteins. I think it's $27. They're gummies. Some people don't like them because they have gluten. I don't care. And so, the collagen, I know that's something that's been proven to help your skin and things like this. And so why not? You're taking it. It's all beauty related. Why not? Maybe you'll see some results there. I have friends who swear by collagen powder and it's helped their hair. I don't know per se, but I can tell you, like, physical results, back to number 2, like those trims really matter, and somebody not chopping off 4 inches every time matters. But I know your internal health matters. I've seen studies that say, hey, you got to get a certain amount of protein. It's all of that. So you've got to take care of yourself. That's really, really important. And of course, if your hair is really fine, or if you're losing hair, or you're suffering from alopecia, which can also be linked to some immune diseases as well, it's good to go to the doctor and just get an assessment. Are you low on vitamin D? Are you low on iron? These are things that matter when it comes to hair growth. Number 4, when your hair is growing, right, it's really important to baby it. Okay, so what does that mean? When your hair's longer, it's gonna get caught on the back of your bra strap. It can get caught in the window of your car. It gets caught sometimes in that where the seatbelt comes out of, and then my hair is getting pulled like this. It gets the hair butterfly clips, it gets caught in the wire mechanism there, everything. And all of that can cost you valuable length. I wear visors when I'm at the gym to catch my sweat. The little Velcro in the back sometimes pulls at my hair in the place where it's the most fine, most sensitive, and it can just yank out your hair. I wear a ponytail extension for, a fun kind of protective style, but only protective so much is that it's not so tight that then it's just really rough on my hair. You have to be careful, because even those protective styles, if they're too tight, or if you're using the wrong kind of hairband, that can be really significant. So for me, I only use silk satin scrunchies now. So I use these like silk scrunchies that I got on Amazon. You can get some at Ulta and everything. And I use these when I want to have like a tighter style. So anytime you see me wear my ponytail, like I'll use these because they stay really good and they don't pull out hair really. I mean, every now and again, I'll see a strand in there or something like this, but nothing like those just regular scrunchy bands. Oh my God, hair just gone. And so then you're wondering why you're getting breakage here, breakage there. A lot of the times it's, you know, how tight, but then also of course, what kind of band you're using. So keep that in mind. These are really the only ones I like to use, honestly, because that's serious. That's where we're at now. You know what I mean? We start having to make these kinds of changes. I think it's really important to be mindful of the kind of brush you're using when you're detangling your hair. I use this U brush. I really like it in the shower. Everywhere, I'm probably going to buy another one here pretty soon. I think it does a really good job. The bristles don't have the little balls on the end that catch my hair. I do use the wet brush too, but I just have to be really careful because like I said, those balls on the end, your hair can get wrapped around and then something gets pulled out. And if it keeps getting pulled out, now it's short in one area. You know what I mean? Things like that. So when I'm brushing my hair, I'm starting at the bottom like this and I'm taking my time and I'm going up. And I'm going up and I'm going working my way up. I never am starting from up here unless I know it's fully detangled. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of what I do there. And that's a part of babying your hair. When you get your nails done, okay, like if they're if they've got some rough edges or something like this, or they're starting to lift, that can pull your hair out, right? And on your growth mission, all of that matters. All of that matters. And so it's really important to be careful even with your nails. My nail tech, like under my nails underneath, I'm like, hey, can you make sure that you file these down so there are no ragged edges? Because when I'm running my fingers through my hair, I don't want anything to get caught and then it's like, bam. What about your bracelets? Things like this that you may not be thinking about. I had this beautiful dainty gold bracelet, not this one, another one. I had to rip it off, okay, because when I was washing my hair, it took out a chunk of my hair. I was like, oh, hell no, you know, I don't play about that, okay? And so I got this one, and this one doesn't bother me, but you got to watch out for that. I have a chain link watch, and that watch, sometimes if I'm not careful, it can pull my hair out. Your sunglasses can pull your hair out. So those are things that you have to be really cautious of and is also a part of babying. Sometimes it's like kind of slightly changing how you maneuver things, slowing down a little bit. All of that, it's really important. And of course, I don't have to tell you guys, but you know, wearing a bonnet, you know, silk, satin, pillowcase, all of that kind of stuff, really necessary, even when you're just lounging about, because that friction, especially if you have fine hair, if you're just lounging on the couch against any type of fabric, it could just be like this linen pillowcase here, and it's like, it's just going back and forth, moving around. You need that microfiber towel when you're taking a shower, all of that kind of stuff. You don't want steaming, super hot water on your hair either. That's really important. If you have a water softener unit in your house, like I do, but it needs to be repaired, you should be using it. Hard water buildup can really prevent moisture from getting into your hair, which basically leads me to number 5, okay? And that's moisture, and I'm gonna include oiling your ends in there, which is really significant. So moisture, right? Okay, so as far as the water softeners go, it's really important that, you know, if you live in an area with hard water, that mineral can build up on your hair and prevent moisture from easily entering your hair, right? And that's a problem, especially if you have low porosity hair like I do. My hair is fine. You know, it can hold the water once it has it, but if it doesn't have it, it's difficult to get it. And when you have those minerals that are just laying on top of the shaft, making your products, your water more difficult to absorb, that's an issue. And so some people will use chelating shampoos. Malibu has these hard water packets that you can use. You need to be very careful. Those really strip your hair down and to be used very lightly, and you need to do your research. Not every clarifying shampoo will get that out, and that's why it's important. I think it's chelating, C-H-E-L-A-T-I-N-G. Yeah, check stuff out like that if you're concerned about that, if you know you live in a hard water area. As far as moisture goes, right, I think steamers are great, but I think you have to be careful. I have an over-the-hood steamer, and I do use it once my hair's been clarified. And, you know, I use like a moisturizing mask, something like that, and I'll let it sit. But I'm always touching my hair to make sure it's not getting too hot, because if it's too hot, the steam, that can also be damaging to your hair, right? And I'm bringing up the parts of my hair that I know really need that moisture, like my ends, and pinning it to the top and putting it in the most conducive way to get that moisture that it so needs, right? But aside from those things, I think it's also really important to, you know, pick a product that works for you. I don't always wear my hair down and curly because it's a lot. And I think when you're trying to grow your hair, you have to be really cautious about, like I said, those really old ends that have been growing for 10, 15 years and how they're just rubbing against your shirt. That can cause damage. Right? These are old hairs, okay, that are at the bottom. They've been around for a long time. And so you have to be really, really gentle with them. And so I'll often kind of pin it back with a nice big claw clip, something like that. But on a wash day or something, you know, I will definitely have like a nice leave-in conditioner. I like this one by TGIN, their green tea super moist leave-in. And I feel like it's got some good ingredients in there. It's got the water with the bihentrimonium methosulfate, whatever, green tea leaf extract, aloe, it's got cocoa seed butter, shea butter, Moroccan oil, castor oil, whatever. All these things. It smells pretty good. I don't mind it. And I feel like it does a good job coating my hair. And I'll usually do this and then I'll follow up with some kind of oil. I use this one by Davinus, this authentic nourishing oil, and I'll put that on my ends. I think that's really, really important. I'll actually put it throughout my hair. And I really think that's important. When I look at this long hair care forum on Reddit, and I think you should check it out if you're serious about your hair goals, that people who have like classic length hair, which obviously goes below your butt, people who have ankle length hair, I mean, they're on this page, okay? And one of the things that a lot of them do is they're oiling their hair. But I'm gonna tell you, if you don't have any moisture in your hair and you just keep applying oil, what is that doing but trapping the moisture from even getting inside your hair, right? And so my thing is like, water is moisturizing, right? Good water is moisturizing, you know what I mean? So it's like if you're using distilled water, I see a lot of people turning to that if they don't have soft water and spritzing their hair with that, then moisturizing, and that might be too much for you. Me, I haven't even started to do that, but I've had the thought in my mind, but I gotta get that water softener fixed. That's really just the only issue for me. But my thing is that oiling your ends is really important. And so I have like this oil here, and it's like sesame seed oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil, jojoba oil, lemon oil, all this kind of stuff. Smells good. And it's nice. I like it. It's a good oil for sure. But then I also have these kinds of oils that are like more silicone-y. I don't know if that's a proper word for it, but I do have a lot of those as well. I've got this Olaplex one, and I think those are nice for smoothing your hair shaft as well, because the thing is that if your hair is snagging and catching on things, or if your hair is not sleek or smooth, like I think it can cause knots and stuff like that, which can cause breakage, damage, all of that kind of stuff. And so this kind of stuff is helpful too, but only after I apply something that's moisturizing. I know a lot of people probably think that they can't grow long hair because they haven't had success with it. And so they're thinking, oh, my genetics must be bad, this, that, and the other. But I'm telling you, I've seen all sorts of women and men who've got really, 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 really long hair. Like I think about people who have locks. One of my brothers had locks that went down to his butt, and he was like in 4th grade, and his hair is a lot coarser than mine. And I'm going to tell you, I've seen people who've got coarser hair than him who've been able to grow it, and it's because they've been able to prevent the breakage. And so you have to essentially stop the breakage so you can see some kind of growth here, right? And you just have to be patient with it, and you have to be kind to yourself and love yourself, and you have to not go to somebody who's gonna cut off everything that grew in the past month. And that's happening to a lot of people. Well, that's been the episode. I hope you guys have really enjoyed it. Please smash that like button, subscribe, and yeah, ask me your questions in the comments. You know, if I see them, I'll answer them. And let's talk more about hair, okay? That is something that I'm really, really, really big on. I take my hair very seriously, and I know all of you do as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys back here next time. Bye.